This is your one and only 𝐵𝑒Spark81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and welcome back to another informational Valheim video. Today we're going to talk about how to break the Deathsquitos. Let's get to it. Okay, so there's a situation where once you get barley can only be farmed over here in the plains, as you see. But there's a downside that there is Deathsquitos all over, and you never know when one's going to end up near where you're at because they kite all over the freaking map. And that sucks because even if you were to set up some type of situation over here where you have a portal over here, a nice little building, you teleport over, you're over here, you're farming, you're trying to replant. Next thing you know, one of these guys jumps behind you. He doesn't care right now because I'm in ghost mode, but we're going to come out of ghost here in a second. So anyway, how can we deal with that? How can we avoid the Deathsquitos and be able to be over here and farm? Because in order to farm, they have to have view of the sky. If I put something over top of them, like you see here, and we take a look, you can see that it says needs an open sky. Which, if we do that, leaves us completely vulnerable to the Deathsquitos. So I was doing some testing, and when you have a wall, a Deathsquito will come along beside the wall and kind of run along the edge of it until it finds the edge, and then it pops over the edge and it jumps inside and stings you. And we can demonstrate that. All right, so here we go. I have a little shack for a demonstration, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna go out of ghost mode, we're gonna get this Deathsquito's attention, and I'm gonna show you what happens. Okay, we're now out of ghost mode. We are in God mode though, so he can't actually hurt us. And then we come over here and you watch, you can see him outside. He's scanning, the AI is following the wall and it's looking for a way in. And then eventually he should just pop up over it. Watch it make a liar of me. And he flew up, and there he goes. He finally found his way inside. So as you saw there, you could see the AI scanning the side of the wall and then following along the perimeter and trying to figure out how to get inside. And then it eventually found the top and it popped up and found its way over. How can we break that? Well, in order to break that, all we have to do is make the edge of said wall fuzzy for the Deathsquito. If it's fuzzy, the Deathsquito can't figure out where the edge is, and then it gets confused. So I have something over here that does that. If we go out of ghost mode, once again, we are out of ghost mode, and we come over here and we get this guy's attention. Now, he sees us already, and I'm gonna run inside and I'm gonna shut the door. Now, if we wait patiently, he comes down, he tries to strafe to us, he can't actually strafe to us, and then he gets stuck. As you see, he can't figure out how to get in. He knows the edge is here, but this stops him from coming up over the edge because he's following the edge. And then I have the second layer up there because sometimes he'll follow along the edge here and pop up over. But when you have something like this with the stair-stepped edge, hold on, this portal is loud and it's getting on my nerves. When you have the stair-stepped edge, as you saw there, he'd given up because the AI gives up if it can't get to you. They can't actually get in. He will bounce up to the top to try to bounce over. The top catches him, and then he just continues to bounce against the wall because we've essentially made the edge of the wall fuzzy to the AI because of the gaps. I'm pretty sure there's probably a way to clean this up, and I've tried a couple of different things to do this. If you use the thatched roof, because I figured we could use the thatched roof, have it coming off of the wall at an angle outside, so essentially coming off the wall like that, and then it would bounce. But what happens is when you do this, the mosquito will hit the wall and then slide up the roof. Well, I tried putting something there to stop it, so when he did that, I figured, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll just do this. But as soon as you put this wall there, the AI sees the wall and immediately just goes over the roof. It doesn't even try to start near the bottom. It sees this wall, it says there's a wall there, it scans along the edge, pops up and pops over. It will also do the same thing if you use the floor pieces. Up here, originally, I had these 1x1s going all the way around. As soon as I put them all the way around, the mosquito went straight to the top and popped over. Now, you could probably do it with these as well. I was just testing to see if these would work. So we know these work, And apparently these also work as well. So you can use either one of the beams to leave gaps. And it appears that the AI does not look for the beams. From what I can tell, it looks for half walls, whole walls, the floor, and the roof. Those are the only pieces I've tested so far because this mechanic seems to work really well. As you see, it just gave up again. So it would be entirely possible to take the floor away from a structure like this and turn this into a garden. Obviously, you would want to have something bigger, but if we could easily turn this into tilled soil because the sky is now open, and we could plant our barley in the center because we don't want it too close to the edges. We would need a much bigger thing to do a decent sized garden, but this is a proof of concept. So I've cleared the top of the structure off here, and I'm going to show you how I went about building that. But there's something else that is important to note about how the Deathsquitos work. When they decide to attack you and they come in to attack you, they fly down and straight at you. So that means your elevation matters. So if you're setting this up and you have the rim built around this thing, you want to make sure that you're down aligned with the wall. You don't want to be up above it. So if you're up here like this and you have the edge around it, they're going to fly up and over the edge. So it's a situation where if you don't want to be on ground, or you want an additional level where you're going to be higher than ground level and head height with the wall, so basically your head below the wall, you need to build higher. If you build here, for example, we could put another floor in here and that's fine. The Deathsquito won't come up and over. Or we could also be down here and it doesn't matter because it won't come up and over. It's going to run into the wall and then just kind of float alongside the wall and get stuck underneath the edge. Okay, so let's look at how I built this. It's pretty simple. You just take one of these little tiny one pieces and you're going to, let's get on the back side so we're not annoyed by the sun. You're just going to attach it to, well, if it will attach, you're going to attach it like that. And then what you want to do is grab one of the other pieces and you're going to hold shift so that it doesn't snap because you don't want it to snap to the top. We're actually going to bring it down. If we put the beam like this, the Deathsquito can fit through there. It can fit through that gap. That is why we have to bring it down a little bit and we want it staggered out. So what we're going to do is grab this piece here. We're going to rotate it out like so. We're going to hold shift so it doesn't snap. And we're just going to bring it down from the top ever so slightly like that. Maybe just a little bit higher. Let's go just a little bit higher. So something like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our long beam here and we're going to do the same thing. We don't want it to snap to the edge because if it snaps here, then the Deathsquito is going to get through that gap right there. So what we want to do is hold shift again and we're just going to bring it into about the middle like that. Then what we can do from there is attach a piece like this and actually snap it to the snap spot. And then we can do the same thing here and snap that in like so. And you can see now it's on the inside, but it is touching the wall, so it counts. Now what we can do is we can go back out here and clean this up and get this looking a little nicer and do the same thing and get it all snapping. Then after that, we can just follow our guide because then everything's going to snap into place and it's going to be in the right spot. So we can do that like so. And then we can grab our next piece and attach it and then grab another piece and attach it. And then we can then deal with the sun. I apologize. So we will attach that like so. And then if we just clip that one, nope, just clip that one like that. There you go. You can see how that worked there. Now, you don't want too many supports. The less supports you have, the better. I'm not sure why, but the more supports you put in, the better it sees the edge. So I went through at one point and had supports going all along it, testing to see if that would screw it up even more, and it did not. So if you can get away with, like, for example, we should be able to get away with this and everything should be supported fine. As you can see there, it is. So if you can get away with something like that, then you want to do that. So the more space you have in here, the better. So for the next layer, we're going to grab another one of these little ones. We're just going to snap it to the top like so. And then we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to grab another one of these pieces and we're going to hold shift and bring it down just a little bit like so. And then we will grab one of the long beams here, or once again, you don't have to use these. We should be able to also just do something like this. And that should also work. And then what we can do is just jump up here and we should be able to snap all of this into place. So we're going to do that. And then we just do something like that, or we can put it here as well. Either way, whatever you want to do. So you can see how this ends up looking a little janky once you do this, because you want to make sure that everything is where it needs to be as far as placement wise. So then when you start to try to build around an area, it starts to look a little extra janky. So then we're just going to go like that and then snap another piece there. So, and then on these corner pieces, the way I had them, I also had a piece going across. So let me quickly complete this other side. So I have the other side complete. On these corner pieces, you just want to rotate another piece in like so. So we're just going to snap it to the outside and rotate it in like that. It doesn't have to connect. You can connect it if you need the stability. So we just do something like that. So that's how you do the sides. You could also do two little ones if you want. You just need to make sure that you fill in that gap, because what it will do is it will run along the side and then fly up and hit this, eventually find that gap and then fly through it. So you need to limit that gap. And the rebuild is complete, and you can see it's working relatively well, and he just got tired and flew off and went and killed that boar. So yeah, it seemed to be doing the job. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind here. One, if your character dies and gets attacked by one of these and the design doesn't work for you, it's not my fault. Double check everything, make sure it's right, and we're messing with AI, so that's the breaks of the game. That's stuff that happens from time to time. I highly advise being on guard the first couple of times after you build this thing until you're sure that it is working, until you get a Deathsquito kited over to it and you're inside and you're sure that it can't get inside. Don't gain a false sense of security. Okay, so with all of those disclaimers out of the way, I think that just about covers everything. That's it for this one. This was just a short, sweet proof of concept video. I wanted to get the idea out there, see if people could maybe help come up with a better design than what I have here. And yeah, all right. If you found this video helpful and informational, consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other Valheim videos. And I don't just cover Valheim, I cover all kinds of different games, so you never know when I'm going to be making a guide for a game that you may be playing. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. If you like what you saw, consider hitting that sub button. I want to give a big thank you to my patrons for making this episode possible. Y'all are absolutely amazing people. If you'd like to join my elite crew Patreon supporters, please check out the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and show your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.